Welcome to the Brutiful Game. As always, I'm Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And before I say what's on tonight's episode, happy birthday, Ferris. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. I'm old.
Hey, you're just joining the rest of us in the fourth club, the fourth decade club. So,
Yeah,
welcome.
almighty.
I'm about to step
back-
out of the 4-decade club.
Proud of you.
If your back ain't hurting yet, it'll be tomorrow.
Literally, I woke up that day and I was like, son of a.
And if it's not your back, it's your hip or your sciatic.
It's for me. It's the bone spurs in the heels. It's I'm a mess already.
I've had glasses for a year and a half now. It's like I turned 42, 43, and I went, hey, why is my phone this far from my oh, crap.
Yep.
I'm
Thanks.
expecting it. I'm expecting my dad had glasses. My mom has glasses. One of these days, I'm planning to just open my eyes from asleep and think I'm just clearing off the crust and screw you, buddy. You're blind now.
Yeah, when I went through a ton of Visine going, wait, maybe this isn't the problem, actually.
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, brother.
Thank you.
Let's see. Tonight's episode. It's a Fallout episode, not the Amazon Emmy nominated show, although there was a final that did have almost a shambling horde of undead running at the gate, so maybe kind of appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a fallout from the summer of soccer cups from abroad and at home. First up, over in Europe, Spain win the 2024 Euros. Gareth says, toodaloo. Who's next now? And everyone wants the Spain players. Then, as we told you on the last pod, Greg Berhalter is shown the door as the search still goes on for the next United States men's national team head coach. Man, if only they had canned him before and had a chance to do something. Weird. Argentina win yet again, back-to-back Copas, but pre-match delays for the stadium and a post-winning chant lands them in hot water with not only France, but the rest of the footballing world. Then we'll blow the halftime whistle as the steak of the Southgate and the barbecue of the Berhalter. Ron shares with us all the news that's fit to drink in this edition of Ron's Beer News. Finally, we will enter the second half of the pod and talk a little Olympics. Cue John Williams. Don't, actually, we can't afford that. But
Right.
in this edition of the La Liga's Roundup.
Nice.
One of these days we're going to remember it. Sound effect early.
There we go.
There we go. Be funny if we go back. See
It was on a
Ron
delay.
There we go. It's satellite delay. But first, our beer. Gents, do you mind if I go?
Go for it.
Go right ahead.
Because I'm a little nervous about this one because I usually tend to have carbonation issues with this kind of beer. So I have gone with I'm trying to find the age on this sucker because it is not this is not a new beer. But I can't figure out how old it is looking at the bottle. But I have a Brewmasters collaboration between Trillium Brewing, which is out here in New England, Boston area, and it is a collaboration with, and any folks from Belgium that watch the show, listen to the show, we apologize, or I do anyway, because I think it's pronounced Proeth Brewery Architecture and Beer. We'll see if that was correct. Brewery with a J at the end of it. So I don't know if that was a silent J or not. But they were founded in 1996, and they're specifically equipped to develop and produce beers for third parties to like a very high technical rate. And they partnered with this Trillium Brewing to, as I said before the pod, I got a beer that made me miss you guys. It is Bouquet, spelled Bouket, farmhouse ale, product of Belgium, dry hopped with Citra and Mosaic. Nice little farmhouse ale, gentlemen.
Good farmhouse ale. Much like
Nice.
everything
I love
from
good
Butternuts
farmhouse ale.
Brewing.
Yeah, well, no, much like Butternuts, no.
Pretty
No,
sure all of their beer styles are farmhouse ales, but one's an IPA, one's a
Right, yeah.
lager, and
a
one's a
stout.
pilsner. You're like, what?
I've never had this one, but I am told it is quite good. I can guarantee it's better than it rates 94 on Beer Advocate. It is a Saison. It's 6.5% alcohol. It is currently retired as it was added in 2016, but hasn't been around since 22. So this is at least a couple years old. Yeah.
Nice.
I know we like the Saisons, so
We do.
we'll give this one a go.
Ferris, what you got?
Since I was last to join the 40 Club, I'll go last if you want to go now.
Oh, I hope this is appropriate.
Okay. I am drinking a beer from good old Mexico on the eve of the MLS All-Star game, which is MLS versus Mexico's.
Very true. Very true.
And my beer is called Colamita Lager
Colamita.
from Colamita, Mexico, which happens to be a town at the base of a volcano, gentlemen. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Colima is the name of the band. It's called the Land of Volcanoes. It's basically a band of volcanoes that go through central Mexico. And these guys have basically made a brewery at the base of the volcano in this town.
That's awesome.
It's the land from their website, which is cervezacolima.com. This is the land of volcanoes, parrots, and forests of 1,000 palm trees. It's wild,
Awesome.
open seas with high waves and black sand beaches from eruptions, downpours of tropical mist. We are proud to bear the name of the volcano, and this is why we love being here.
Awesome.
This volcano is super cool because I'm a geology nerd. I looked it on up. It's 3,820 meters tall, which is pretty cool. And it is one of North America's most active volcanoes, as it has erupted more than 40 times since 1576, gentlemen. 1576.
Good Lord.
You know what else was going on in the world in 1576?
1576. What's happening? Sir Walter Raleigh doing anything? Who's out there?
It's a
saying
little early for him. And same with Drake. They're still probably in their like middle teens.
Drake was around. I love him.
he was dropping the sick beats back then, man.
Sir Francis of the Sick Beats, Drake. Yeah. So this is a pretty cool volcano. It's been around for quite some time, couple of 100,000 years. Late in the Pleistocene era, that's when this thing started. Look it up if you're a geology nerd. It's pretty funny. The Colima volcano. But anyway, we're going to have one of their beers, and this beer is a tropical garden lager. A tropical representation of a German lager. At sight, it's golden, bright, and crystalline with a fine white foam, medium bodied on the palate, slightly more bitter note with a bit of floral flavor from the hops that come into balance with a persistent malt character. Your malt is Pilsner, your hops are Magnum, Saaz, Hallertau, and that's the deal. It's 4.4 ABV on the old, if you're following home. Go for it, Blake.
So I was just say, speaking of geology news, I thought about you today with the Yellowstone Biscuit Basin explosion.
Oh.
You were literally the first person I thought of. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, God, I wonder if Ron's seen this. So when you had volcano beer, I was like, oh, there we go. Right on cue.
You know, you got to do what you got to do. So I'm ready to pop this one.
I also think we should have a brewery and call something Biscuit Basin Brewery because that's a hell of a name.
Yes, it is.
Love it.
I, too, am having a beer from Mexico. Ye Old Pacifico.
I knew it. I knew that was going to be the birthday beer. I knew it.
But as a wee lad, I don't quite know how old. I won't even go there. But I was always taught a shot in the beer. So guess what I'm having?
Oh, it's Jameson. It's fair.
It is not Jameson. It's tequila.
Oh.
This one, I'm not a big tequila person whatsoever. Usually if I start doing this shots of this at the bar. I'm going to be up on the bar and be doing shit I don't remember. It's not going to be it's going to be a fun night for some. It'll be a fun night for me, but I'll start like seeing stuff. I don't know. Is it bad? Anyways, a few weeks back, I went to a bottle signing where I met Guy Fieri.
Nice.
And he signed my bottle of Santos tequila. Wow. And the bottle that I got is Reposado. Now,
look at the picture of him on that tequila.
Yeah, but who else is there with them?
Is that Sammy Hagar?
Sammy Hagar. It is a Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri collab. So on their santosspirits.com, friends and founders Sammy Hagar and Guy Fieri built their own success on artistry, hard work, and going all the way every day, putting their heart and soul into everything they do, and then some. Sammy grew up son of farmers. As a boy, he picked fruit under the hot California sun, saving up $40 to buy his first guitar. This union of hard work, gumption, and innate craving for music laid the foundation of life spent rocking concert stadiums and building a tequila empire. In Sammy, Guy Fieri founded a kindled spirit. Guy also spent his youth in California selling pretzels and washing dishes to fund a trip to France, where he forged a passion for the culinary arts. His drive to discover and create has culminated in his brand of audacity and in his face flavor that has become ever present. The uncompromising spirit lives on in Santo Tequila at the historic I'm going to butcher this. At the historic El Viejito distillery, Sammy and Guy have put tradition to work, tapping into the soul of old Mexico. The result is an ultra-premium tequila that stays true to its roots. Born from the sacred blue Weber agave, natured with craftsmanship and care, no shortcuts, no added anything, nothing to hide, just the fullest, finest expression of agave flavor turned all the way up.
All the way to 11.
Exactly. So my signed bottle here is I'm going to pour onto just a shot glass. I'm not actually going to do a shot, but I do have a chilled cube in there, and it's pretty darn good. I have started to drink just kind of tequila on the rocks. It's quite good. And this bottle that I have is like the second in line. There's like 4 different things of tequila, and this is again the Reposada, and in Spanish it means rested. And true to its name, Santo Reposada is an ultra premium 100% additive free tequila that rests for around 4 to 5 months in the barrel. We find this is just enough time to deliver the slightest notes of oak. Aromas and flavors: banana, pineapple, green papaya, lime, peanut, sesame, Thai basil, with a satiny, lively, medium body and medium long finish with notes of mild peppers, coconut, lime, salt, white pepper, and honeycomb. Just a hint of oak to soften the spirit. Beautiful tones of rich, complex agave abound. Won a gold medal in 2022 Beverage Tasting Institute, 95 points. 2022 Chilled 100, 94 points, and won a gold 92 points in 2023 Ultimate Spirits Challenge. This particular one I'm having. So 100% additive free, 100% flavor,
and 100% rock.
Let's go.
I can't believe you got that signed. Oh
yep, we got a sign by Mr. Fieri himself. It was very, very nice to everybody. Saw him, just dap everybody. He's had a great time, and his son was there as well. But for my birthday, I'm gonna have a little bit different. Usually it would be Jameson, but I'm gonna have a tequila shot and beer followed up by my favorite beer, Pacifico Clara. No need to go into the info on that one.
I love it, gentlemen. Shall we?
Let's do it.
I always do love when a Pacifico pops back on the show, since it was one of our first trifecta beers.
That's a healthy shot too. Whoops.
So I think I smell your tequila from here.
It's a good thing that I don't have to go anywhere tonight. I'm staying home.
Ooh, this is a slightly more, farmhouse saisons can kind of vary in color, and this one is a little more copper than you sometimes see. I don't know how old this is. Not super carbonated. Again, I was trying to find a date. It's at least from 2015 to 2022, somewhere in there. So we'll find out what happens here. Oh my goodness! But it smells good. You can smell all those farm spices and such. If you're not familiar with farmhouse ales, it just comes with a tradition of all the stuff that was in the farm. You did into the year, or into the season, you want to throw in and make a beer with. You gentlemen ready to try these?
Let's do it.
Let's.
Cheers. That there is fine. It's not super. I wish it was a little more carbonated. I don't know how old this was. Flavor is awesome.
That is some tequila. I tell you what, that is boozy. But darn smooth, good flavor, exactly as they say there. Love the agave taste of this tequila. Very, very smooth. I would suggest having over rocks. When I first got the bottle, my first sip was with a Arturo Fuente Hemingway cigar and a nice chilled glass of this. Absolutely fantastic. By all means, get a little Santo tequila. Very, very good.
This is quite a good lager. Sweet from the malt bill, but it's got a bit of floral to it, but it's not, kind of overpowering at all. Quite a tasty tropical representation of a German lager.
A tropical representation of a German lager.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good quote. They should put that on the poster for the beer.
Absolutely.
Right?
Put it on a bumper sticker.
Oh,
all right. Well,
this would be good. Sitting by the pool, smoking some food on a hot summer day.
Speaking of bumper stickers, Ron, do you have what could be coming up to a close of some of our traditional Ray Hudson quote?
I don't. We've gone through all the good ones, and the rest of them are kind of nonsensical. Nothing to write home about.
Yeah. All right then. Well then, shall we move straight on to some Euros fallout?
Be rude if we don't.
All right, gentlemen. Well, here we are. The Euros done ended. A lot beyond just a final of Spain 2, England 1. And as Fair's put in here, no particular order. Obviously, Spain wins. And then this leads to Gareth Southgate stepping aside. Who could be next? There's a ton of names on the list. And then also, as you said, Ferris, everybody's looking for the Spanish players that were in this Euro. Now, I don't know the statistics for how many times someone is amazing in a Euro and their price point gets inflated and they actually turn out to be really good. Sometimes there's like that World Cup or Euros bump that doesn't necessarily pan out for reality, at the club level. But I mean, look, it's the best two teams that were in the tournament.
And Spain was the best team all tournament. We said it on the last pod.
Most consistent.
Start to finish. Yep. Consistent, quality, goal scoring, good defense, just good from top to bottom. And it's not as if England played necessarily bad. Spain were just better. They just came across a better team and they got beat. And what was it, a very late goal there by a substitute, if I'm not mistaken. Orzabal in the 86th minute. But the goal scoring in this came all in the second half. Cole Palmer came on, scored to tie it up in the 73rd. But then a kind of a lovely bit of play, as Spain have done all tournament, to put him in and a lovely finish. And at Spain were absolutely just deserving of this. And well done to them. We'll see what they now do in the World Cup in 2 years' time.
Well, that was going to be my question about England. I realize you're talking about their manager gets the sack, but like what FIFA ranking for Spain's 3rd, England's 4. Can this English team, can they go to a World Cup final?
Yes, based on On talent and on paper alone, 100% yes. And if you remember correctly, prior to this tournament, at the very start, before the tournament even kicked off, they were the bookies' favorites, right? Because they had been to a semifinals of a World Cup. They were in a finals of the last year. That's the one they probably should have won because it was at home. It was in London. It was at Wembley Stadium. And they didn't have the best tournament in terms of some of the games. There were some 0-0s. There was some bland 1-0 wins. There was those sort of things. They needed a late goal from Jude Bellingham, a late goal by, or have to go to pens in one of them. So they didn't face the stiffest of competitions, but they got there, and they continued to advance, and they continued to win, and they continued to do what you need to do in cup soccer, and they advanced, and they played for it, but they got outplayed on the day. Is that team that Southgate put out better on paper? Probably, from top to bottom. If you were to go from goalie, right back, left back, center back, so on and so forth, from top to bottom, every name on there is probably better than Spain. But Spain, better team, better style, better formation, better flow, better defensively, better in the midfield. Disciplined. And that's what it takes to win these type of tournaments. And Southgate did a lot for England, and to his credit, realized I've taken these boys as far as I can now, so I have to step away. It wasn't a sacking. It was his choice about 48 hours after the game to say, you know what, thanks, but no thanks.
I wonder how much of that is him honestly thinking he's taken it as far as he can, and how much of it was kind of, man, I don't want to deal with this media circus again.
Probably both. But I go like 70-30.
He's definitely gotten more than his fair share of, insults hurled at him from the press and all that, kind of craziness. So at some point you gotta figure that weighs on a person, and then the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore. Sure.
And that's why I say it's probably 70-30, because he's smart. He's very aware of his surroundings, aware of his players. He's very calm. He's collected in how he goes about it. So I'm sure he went, you know what? 2 finals, a semifinal, when England was absolute crap before him. He statistically is the best England manager that they've ever had. Even the one that when they won the World Cup in the 60s, he statistically better. He will probably get a knighthood, so we'll probably call him Sir Gareth Southgate at some point. And in all honesty, he probably will. But yes, Ron, you're right. That brutal press, which he's familiar with, he knows. He's coaching the Premier League. He's coaching the EFL. He knew.
Yeah, I'm not saying it by any way is a surprise.
I'm done.
But after that much of the whole country second guessing everything you're doing, you're getting results. Maybe it's, I seriously think they could have won every single game in the Euros, 5-1 or 6-1, and a beautiful style, but everyone would complain, well, you couldn't keep a clean sheet. Yeah, you won, but you couldn't keep a clean sheet. Like, there's always something for them to complain about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
you didn't, you won, but you only won 1-0. You didn't win 3-0.
Right.
Saka didn't get on the goal sheet. Kane didn't score. He was crap.
Actually,
all of these things where it's like, listen, they advanced. Right. Yes, there was players that didn't have their best tournament. Phil Foden, anonymous.
Yeah, I was going to say
anonymous the entire tournament.
Phil Foden and Kane not scoring. That's huge. I mean,
yeah, he's number 9. And listen, he scored a few, but they were pens and they were this, that, and the other. But for his standards, he didn't have the best tournament. And think about it this way: on paper, you had the top scorer in the Bundesliga last year. You had the player of the season in Phil Foden in the Premier League, and you had. Who's the third?
Cole Palmer.
Missing Cole Palmer, yeah, but there's another league I'm thinking of. But Jude Bellingham in Spain be the Golden Boot and the best player in Spain. You got those three. They were pretty anonymous, and they couldn't. I mean, they got to the finals, but they couldn't get past Spain. Spain were better, and it was a Spain in the second half without Rodri, probably going to win the Ballon d'Or this year. A whole second half without the linchpin, the key, and Rodri, and they still couldn't beat a damn good Spain team.
But you've left out the VIP, the best, what do you want to call this? Like the true winners of this. And that's the nation of Scotland. If you would like to see something funny, you should just go type in Scotland celebrates Spain victory. And the Scottish pubs that erupt, as it says, in ecstasy as Spain defeats England. And it's friggin' awesome.
Oh,
there are so many good memes. The video, oh God, it's my favorite was the Lord of the Ring ones. I think I sent you guys where instead of it lighting up with the little magic writing on the ring, it says written in Scottish talk. It says it's Necummen Ham, and Gandalf's like, "What's it say?" Frodo is wearing like a little English. Frodo's got like a little English scarf. He's like, "I don't know. It's written in some sort of ancient Scots."
Yeah,
so
I don't think there were bigger fans of Spain in Spain than Scotland.
Oh, 100%.
Maybe Ireland and Wales too. To be fair, we should check over there as well. Well, this leads to the fun conversation. Who's next? And more importantly, who will Chelsea replace Mauricio Pochettino with?
So the short list.
There you go.
Eddie Howe, Graham Potter.
Boo.
Maurizio Pochettino, Jurgen Klopp, but he turned down the U.S. men's job, so it's likely that he's going to turn down the UK job.
There's no way Germany he doesn't take, and he would take things. That would be shocking. You know, yeah.
And then Lee Carsley, who is the England under-21,
which is where Gareth Southgate came, if I'm not mistaken.
Hear me out. This is not me being funny because he coaches at Chelsea now. I don't think he'll take it because he's at Chelsea, but I actually think Mauricio Pochettino might be a really awesome national coach. He got tournament-wise, he does good. He does well in the tournaments, and he seems to not be able to close the deal in the leagues.
But that's what happened with Southgate. Really good in the tournament, couldn't close the deal.
Well, I mean, yeah, but Pochettino can get Harry Kane to score. We do know that.
Graham Potter would be fun just because all of the memes and gifs of Potter takes England to he's the wizard. He's taking them, to the Tri-Wizard Cup final, and it's like the World Cup final or whatever. But I think Sir Edward Howe, that's one, if he ever gets, a knighthood, brilliant, Sir Edward Howe. I think that's a very viable option. He's very liked all throughout England. Newcastle and the money they have can certainly find somebody else to replace him. It's the top job in England for the most part. One of the top jobs in all of world football. If you can get that nation to win anything in terms of a Euros or a World Cup, it's there.
And just to be clear, because maybe I'm having a stroke, why does Blake keep saying that Mauricio Pochettino is managing Chelsea?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, I had a little time lapse. Forgive me. I've stepped into a time vortex.
I was like,
which is
there
very
something
confusing.
I don't know?
Because as we get to here in a second with the Copa, his name's also Enzo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, you talking about the player? Or are you talking about the coach? But yeah. Anyways, I mean, but does he still get paid if he takes England job? Or is he still getting paid for the next 15 years?
Yeah, we're paying him for the rest of the.
Regardless if he gets a job?
Yep.
Lovely.
Wait, so.
Take England job, get double paid.
Right.
Win absolutely crap again and still getting double paid.
Yeah. So he could coach. You're saying, I forgot about this. He could coach the men's national team and still be getting paid from Chelsea.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Double dipping, baby.
It's just glorious.
It's coming home. It's coming.
No, it isn't. The thing that I liked about the entire fallout of the tournament was the questionable video on Instagram that has Harry Kane talking about his career being cursed.
Yeah, I could not tell when you sent to us that in the group chat if that's a real video, if that's some AI, or if that
It was AI. It was right. It was in yeah.
That's what I thought, because I was like, "There's no way." Like I know, but like I don't know. It seemed out there.
No, it was an AI. It was an AI. If you kind of watch it, you can kind of see how, and you can even hear the cadence. He has a couple of weird ways of saying things like that don't sound right. So it's one of those deep fake things.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still damn funny.
It was hysterical. It was hysterical. I can't believe like I totally blanked on Pochettino not being at Chelsea anymore. I forgot about the conscious uncoupling that they both parted.
Yeah.
For mutual,
right after the season.
And then we hired Maresca, who has zero pedigree, less pedigree than Graham Potter.
He was Leicester's coach last season.
Yeah.
Who's coming up, by the way, which we'll get to here in a few weeks.
Good Lord.
I'll hang myself from that coat rod before the Premier League season starts.
Right. So where's like player of the tournament that everybody now all of a sudden realized? Dani Olmo.
Yeah.
RB Leipzig center attacking mid, tidy player, but has a great tournament. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, we want him. But yet everybody lets his buyout clause expire. We could have bought him out for 65 million euros. Now it's at the behest of the club. But it's wild how these tournaments spawn just like, oh, we have to have that player now. Oh, we have to spend over the moon to get that player, when they've been there all along.
Yeah.
They just had themselves a great 5 games.
Yeah. With a different team, a different manager, and I always get leery of those World Cup and Euros like bump for a player. It's not necessarily indicative of. I'm not saying you can't get someone that's great. I just usually they get like an inflated price that doesn't always pan out to reality in the club play.
And also everyone forgets the fact that, yes, there are individually great players no matter where they go, but that's kind of the exception, not the rule, right? Players are normally good because they're working and functioning in a team with other people who can give them service, or who can cover through midfield, who can put an early cross on a dime for someone, right? It's not usually that, they're Mbappe or the Messi or Ronaldo, right? It's more that they work well in this team. And then you take them out of that team, you give them this gigantic contract and shove them in a new team, and you're like, hey, why aren't they as good?
You actually just said, but we've already talked about people. Kane, Foden, Mbappe. These are people that didn't have enormous tournaments individually. Right. So that's like the perfect example of what we're talking about, just the reverse side of it. Really great players, back in their clubs, and then, they just don't come together for whatever reason, on the national team level.
Well, Harry Kane's cursed, so.
Well, he is. That video, you got to look it up. I don't know what it was titled, but
the best.
Him talking about being cursed. It's so good. And also frightening for like, oh God, AI is going to take over the world. We won't be able to believe anything we see anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like if now I'm watching it going, oh, you can see right there kind of where it's AI. Well, what, in 2 years, that'll be better. That'll be gone.
Yeah.
We'll just be typing our stuff into a prompt and throwing our video on a screen for the beautiful game. So that's what happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then once AI can take over the Terminators, it's all over.
Yep. It's all
Skynet.
Over. Just Skynet.
Cheers to Skynet.
Another shot of a tequila there, Ferris. It's birthday boy time.
I'm a sipping. I'm not a shooting. This is on ice. I'm a sip. I have an empty stomach. Good thing I'm staying home. Not going anywhere. So we'll sip through this. I'm gonna pop a Pacifico here and bingo bango.
Speaking of on ice, how's that for a segue?
Here we go.
Greg Berhalter's career in the United States as men's national team. Coach, we already know that is itself been put on ice. We got to the final, and what we had was mayhem in Miami. The final day gets delayed multiple times due to supporters. You guys got to help me out here. There's a lot of conflicting stuff. Basically, they let in people who hadn't bought tickets push through the gates to get in. The videos I saw were just like a mad dash. And so people who had paid, wasn't that one guy with like a $10,000 group of tickets or something and couldn't get in?
They didn't have, so like, I don't know if you guys watched, and I was over with Ron. We were having a two dudes and a 10-month-year-old day. And,
love it.
And Ron was trying to put the kiddo down who had it for all about like 10 minutes. And the game was just about to start. Then, the kid's up. We're trying to run him around. We keep trying to put him to bed. Ron actually made the start of the game because an hour and a half later is when the game actually started.
Right.
Yeah. But if you haven't watched on Netflix, there is one of, and I didn't know this at the time, but the Copa finals in 2021, which would have been the Euros in 2021, which would have been 2020. They had a similar thing with Wembley Stadium and England fans showing up without tickets. A little bit better handled than this. This was chaotic. It was CONMEBOL blaming the security company blaming CONMEBOL, no pre-checks further out of the stadium. It's Florida, it's South Florida, it's 100 freaking degrees, people passing out, people, bodied up against gates. You had people crawling through air vents at one point. You had, to your point, Blake, people that didn't have tickets, hundreds of thousands of them there trying to get in, people that paid thousands of dollars for this final to get in. It was severely underestimated, the fan bases that live in Miami for Argentina and Colombia. Massive, massive fan bases.
And the injured and locked out fans who had tickets have started their lawsuits as of a few days ago, according to
yes. There's a massive class action. Well, there's several massive class action lawsuits against the Hard Rock Stadium and CONMEBOL because people who spent thousands on tickets and travel to get there were denied entry due to, the idiocy, if that's a word, of the idiocy of a bunch of fans who were trying to get in.
And I've been to Hard Rock down there. I was there a few years ago for a summer series between Man United and Real Madrid. I'm sure Matt's been there being a fan of the Dolphins. I'm sure Sam's been down there before from just all the games that get played down there. And I've never really found it badly set up, badly, done. But when you have that many fans swarming the gates and the entry gates, and where and how you're hearing about how they set it up on like one side of the stadium, this massive area, but then one or two down the road was not open. It was only open to a certain, group, and then they started to close them. They did similar to what they did in England, where they just closed the gates, and that actually hurt so much more. Because then you had people trying to bum rush the gates, hop over the gates. You had people pinned up against the gates. You had people trying to do anything they could to get in, opposed to holding them, calming them down, and then allowing them through. So at one point, that second reopening just allowed anybody through. And that's where you get these class action lawsuits. Because if you're not faster, stronger, or more willed than the person to your right or left, well, I may have paid more. I may have a heavier pocketbook than the person to my right or left, but I didn't get in. Although on my phone, I have 3 club level seats, but Joe Schmo and Bobby Sue got in because screw it. We don't have a ticket. We just want to see this game. We're just going to bum rush and crawl through a vent to get in.
What is this, Nakatomi Plaza?
You shouldn't have been able to get...
Break the glass.
Break the glass.
You shouldn't have been able to get within 2 blocks of that stadium without having a ticket.
Yeah, looking at I saw the BN report saying that just in case you didn't realize, guys, there's cameras everywhere. And through biometric screening, they've identified 7,000 of the people that busted through. And there's like, they're just going to be chilling at home, knocking on the doors, getting arrested. I mean,
7,000 people.
Yeah. But no, they said they have identified 7,000 of them. Nearly 8,000 managed to enter Hard Rock Stadium without tickets. They've identified 7,000 through biometric screening.
Pretty good odds, but still, that's
just terrible mismanagement.
Oh, 100%. Poorly mismanaged. Whoever it was, whether it was CONMEBOL, whether it was Hard Rock, whether it was security company.
But ultimately,
listen, you can't really blame the security company. They're being hired by whoever. They're probably being paid minimum wage thereabouts. I'm not putting my life at risk for
ultimately it's
Joe
CONMEBOL's
and
fault.
Bobby Sue that are trying to run through the stadium and knock my head off on the way to a seat, which they didn't buy.
It's ultimately CONMEBOL's fault. It's their tournament. They are responsible for
absolutely
the reasonable expectation of safety for all of the fans who are going to come and watch the game, and it's their responsibility for all of the security.
And much like Alien versus Predator, whoever wins, we lose. When it came to the Copa final, whoever wins, MLS and Apple TV lose because Messi's in a boot. And is he done for the season officially for MLS?
He's out indefinitely.
Yep. There you go.
If he was a hockey player, he'd be back tomorrow.
I know a lot of complaints about the pitch.
Well, that's the other thing.
That was throughout the whole tournament.
That was throughout the tournament. Between the pitch, between this fiasco and a final that delayed it over like an hour. I think it was about an hour and a half delay. It's questioned because this was supposed to be a dry run from all sides of things, from the U.S. men's national team to hosting a tournament here in the U.S. between all of these states and cities. It's supposed to be a dry run of the World Cup in 2 years. Now, run not by CONMEBOL, run by FIFA, which I can't believe I'm saying this, but they at least know how to organize a tournament and put on a tournament.
Yes.
Despite several other things that we won't get into right now.
Way out of their
depth.
Way out of their depth. Trying to host this in a North American nation.
I mean, this final should have been in like Minnesota, but to have this final in Miami and happen to have two of the biggest fan bases in the entire tournament in Miami at that stadium, perfect storm.
I don't think it was a bad shout to have it there.
No,
right?
no,
like it makes total sense.
Not at all.
It's just that they completely managed it, and
But a perfect storm. Again, having two of the biggest fan bases. You have stars on both sides. You have Messi on one side. Argentina's going. They just won a World Cup 2 years ago, and they're going for another Copa final. You just have a perfect storm of stuff, and this is what you saw, and now it's going to be played out probably years from now, and lawsuits and everything else.
Yeah, we haven't heard the last of this at all.
No, we haven't. And the game itself was okay. It ended 1-0 after extra time. There was a goal, I think, in the first half or maybe the second half of extra time that by Argentina that pretty much sealed it. But the talk was a little bit about that for, 24 hours before then it then went to did you see this live video that was posted and a racist chant about France after they won the Copa final against Colombia?
Yeah.
So that allegedly that whole I guess Argentina and France have quite a history. And so whenever anything good happens in Argentina, they have to put France down. So
but
that's allegedly where all this where the impetus for the chant comes from.
But you just know it's 2024. It'll go on social. You'll deal with all this crap. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, it's the funniest thing is that one of the players was live streaming them do the chant, Enzo Fernandez. And then when someone realized what was happening, they were like, "Stop the live." I forgot how they said it in Spanish, but basically, "Stop the live, stop the live," and then the live.
Because just remember, he doesn't get enough money playing football and sponsorships. He's got to Got to get the gram live going.
Always, baby. Always. All about the gram there, Blake. Even at 40 young years of old. It's always about the gram.
Yeah.
But we're not going to repeat the chant. You can go and you can search for it. Long story short about France. France's African American players that play for them and their origins of coming from Africa and playing for France and calling themselves French. Essentially how it goes. Just uncalled for. Apparently, it was sung after the World Cup final when they played each other. It was chanted in the stands. It originated from a fan chant, and now you have the players after the tournament.
Wait,
2 years, 3 years down the road, and the players are singing it on the team bus after they beat Colombia in the Copa final.
Are you telling me there is a problem with disrespectful behavior from the team that had the goalkeeper that humped the World Cup trophy after they won? There's a maybe we shouldn't do this in public problem.
The glove fits, as they say. The glove fits, you acquit. But not in this case. Not in this case.
The Golden Glove did fit. Yeah. All right. That's what good play there, Bears.
The interesting thing about this is that there are so many players actively over the globe who are actively fighting against all the racism that they get online and all the hate they get.
Especially in France, right? France alone.
To have players also doing it.
Yep. And originating from a fan chant. Yeah. Not even one that... It's mind-boggling on all aspects, just absolutely all aspects. It's the whole final so weird, just from pre-match to the game itself to post-match. It's just so weird all around. A lot of it uncalled for, a lot of it untamed, a lot of it unthought. It just weird. Not at all how we thought the tournament would end.
Oh,
which then kind of sorry.
Well, I was gonna say begin and end. I mean, from the bookend experience of that final is totally overshadowed. The final doesn't even matter. The game doesn't even matter.
Great.
But
well, they won. Right.
Yeah. Prior and after, it doesn't matter. No one will remember it, but they'll remember those two things. Anyway, sorry, Ron. Go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I was just gonna kind of move on to the list of people who are being looked at by USSoccer.com for replacement of one Greg Berhalter.
I was wrong. Klopp is not the head coach. Now, he was offered, though. He was offered.
Yeah.
So I got like half credit there, right?
And to his credit, he said, look, I asked for a break from football, and that's what I'm going to take.
But he better do that with England when they come asking, too. That's all I'm going to say.
So, Steve Cherundolo, manager from LAFC.
Former U.S. men's national team player, played a lot of years over in the Bundesliga.
Gareth Southgate.
Oh, Jesus H.
I mean...
Can he be knighted and then president 4 years later for the United States?
Right?
Has anybody ever done that before?
That would be amazing.
When he wins the World Cup with the U.S. in 2026 and then becomes president in whatever year that would be, 2028 or something.
Well, he can't because he wasn't born in the U.S.
Nah. Hey, listen, we're in a new age, my friend.
You need a birth certificate. Let's go back to that argument.
Listen, you don't have to be. You don't even have to be from the nation to coach a national team anymore.
Nope.
So what makes you think you'd be president and not have to be from the nation anymore? Like that's just going to change, right? That has to change. It's a new world order, my friend.
It might just be in a few months. The next one, Jim Curtin from the Philadelphia Union. Patrick Vieira from Strasbourg.
I don't like that.
Hugo Perez.
Interesting.
Yeah. Here's one I absolutely hate. Thierry Henry.
No.
He can... hang on, I got to write this. I'm going to pre-write this. But he can just...
screwing Americans and the Irish.
He can right off.
There he is.
I hate that guy. Smug French.
Every Irish American hate him. He knocked
Because he's a cheater.
Republic of Ireland out for basically bouncing the ball down the field into the net, and then he would just destroy any goodwill that Berhalter built with the players, and we'd end up last in a group of Slovenia, Transylvania, and Trinidad and Tobago.
One of the best players ever, though.
David,
I don't disagree with you. On the field with a ball at his feet, 100%. A legend of the game.
Legend in his own mind.
To being in CBS Plus, Paramount Plus, UEFA sports coverage with when you come in with your very tactical sense, and Mika Richards jokes around and Carragher has fun, and then Kate Abdo just trying to split them up, and yeah, you stick with that. You have a good thing going.
Was the order you gave Ron in like a odds list or anything?
No, it was just kind of who I'm reading out of the reports. David Wagner is also another one, German-born former USMNT player.
Yep, worked under Klopp for many years, Norwich manager, Huddersfield manager. I don't know where he's at now.
Can you believe that Bob Bradley is on the list?
Sure, why not? Bring him back.
Also, Wilfred Nancy from the Columbus Crew.
I do like that.
That's like the top 8 rumor players or rumor managers right now.
My vote is for Nancy.
What happened with the rumors? Was it like last week that Vieira was in negotiations though? Like they were happening?
I saw things that said that the negotiations were ongoing, and some that said the negotiations were suspended. So I don't know. I'm just
hey, look. Let me tell you, there might be some really good managers too that they can't snag because no one's to deal with that crap. A la Jesse Marshall was like, "No way, man! I'm not going there unless there's a lot of change."
Right. Klopp's like, "No way, man! I want to drink Mai Tais on the beach and continue to chill."
Yeah. Jesse Marsh has a good thing going in Canada. He should stay there.
Mm-hmm.
So the U.S. The U.S. has expressed interest in certain people, right? Like that part is clear. Like,
they offered Klopp. That was their first.
Klopp. They say the Patrick Vieira negotiations happened. Interest. Did they actually talk to Pochettino? Because that was reported in England that they had.
Possible.
I mean, if we want to continue not winning anything, Pochettino's the man.
And we end on that note.
Blows the halftime whistle. Excellent. I think this takes us to all the news and Spitz Drink on Ron's Beer News.
It is indeed. Gentlemen, do you know what happened on Monday, which was the 21st?
No, it was the 22nd because that was my birthday.
Oh, today's Tuesday. Sorry, my bad. Not Wednesday. I'm a weekend.
Ron, you know what, dude? I was right there with you and thoroughly convinced it was Wednesday while you were saying that. Because I was right there with you.
In about an hour and 14 minutes it will be.
So can either of you guess what today is?
Yeah.
Monday is?
Was that like is that one of the dumb like National Beer Days or something? Or was it actually something?
Tickets to the Great American Beer Festival hit the market. The festival, Great American Beer Festival, is in Colorado. It runs October 10th through the 12th. It's far and away the largest beer festival in all of North America. And this year's festival is going to be the biggest, but with one change. It's only offering 3 sessions instead of 4. Normally, there's a Saturday night session, but that's been eliminated. Themed areas will also be offered, including a German beer garden, a Meet the Brewer area, music and games, Halloween-themed experiences, and a brand new sports section.
How do I get the job designing a haunted house with a Great American Beer Festival?
Right?
I know, right? That would be amazing.
Great themed gentlemen. We need to go to business for ourselves doing the production for
100%.
the Great American Beer Festival.
Yep.
Holy cow.
Right. And one of them, you walk into the fermentation room and all the beer is growing. Right. So it's all molded on top.
So
you have a light struck room where all the beer is skunked. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, yeah. You got the scents going through there so you can smell the bad skunky beer. Yeah. You go in one room, you're like, God, this room's really cold. And then the next room, it's the same room you've entered twice, but now it's really hot. You're like, oh, God, the beer's ruined.
Yep.
Totally do this, man. All the ghillie suits coming out of the hot vines.
We would have such a blast.
Now, I have to ask, though, why one, that doesn't sound good to me when you say it, that they cut a session.
Saturday night, think about it. Beer, Saturday night, Colorado. Woo-wee.
Yeah, why'd they cut a session?
I don't know. I haven't.
Too wild.
No one has said anything yet.
Too wild. Look, man, people, I guess I say it doesn't really shock me that much. People might not be traveling quite as much.
Well, also you would think that they're trying to add more sessions, not take some away. So maybe they're trying to do something responsible. But unfortunately, nothing came out in the press about that. Tickets will start at $85 for the Thursday session. Traditionally, most of the most laid back of all the sessions. $95 for the Friday and Saturday session. 3-day passes are available for $220 US. And gentlemen, probably the coolest part, in my opinion, of the Great American Beer Festival is called Paired. And that is where beers of highly rated beers from all over the world are paired by chefs with very, posh style meals. And you get to go in there and try this world-class food with these world-class beers. And that's awesome. That's offered with every session.
Yeah, that'd be the one I'd want to go to.
Yeah.
Or that'd be what I would want to go enjoy, I should say.
Yeah, that would be a ton of fun. I would snag that in a heartbeat. As I said, the tickets were on sale starting Monday, and you should go to the website, greatamericanbeerfestival.com. They have a really slick section of the website that you can go through and say, pick a state, Ferris.
Wyoming.
All right, let's get on down to the Wyoming.
Made him scroll all the way down.
I know, all the way to the bottom. So, from Casper, Wyoming, Gruner Brothers will be there. They're in booth D35.
Give me some Connecticut there, Ferris. Ron, when you get to that one, I don't know what's happening in Connecticut.
Sure. Let's see. Select a state. Scroll on, in this case, up to Connecticut. We've got, Athletic Brewing Company.
Oh, the non-alcoholic one. Yeah.
They'll be in booth A2. Dudleytown Brewing from Windsor, Connecticut in E21. And from Stafford Springs, Connecticut, Off the Rails Brewing in booth G12.
Scroll down to old Florida there.
Well, don't mind if I do. Florida's going to have some good ones, I think. All right. Beachfly Brewing from Rockledge, Florida.
Out on the coast. Interesting.
Dade City Brewing.
Okay.
They'll be there. And one of our favorites, Ivanhoe Park Brewing, will be there with showcasing Guavacation and Tupac Shaporter.
Oh, man. If there's ever...
Yep.
My favorite porter in the state. Probably my favorite porter ever. Tupac Shaporter. California love. Let's go.
Yeah. Lost City Brewing. Matthews Brewing.
Inglewood's always up to no good. Yes.
Lost City Brewing, Matthews Brewing, Nobo Brewing, and Palm Folly will also be in attendance so far. So you can jump right onto that website, greatamericanbeerfestival.com, and you can start buying yourself tickets and all that. There's exclusive hotel sponsorships and deals. You can get your hotel right through the Great American Beer Festival website. You don't even have to go external. There's all kinds of fun stuff on the website. So go check it out. Get ready, because on October 14th, you'll be hearing about all of the people who won.
Winners.
Yeah. It's going to be a good time. GreatAmericanBeerFestival.com.
Ron, before you blow the whistle back in, I have to point you to a very local, extremely local bit of local beer news. I sent you gents a picture of my daughter. She did this fun thing at our park where she was on the news and talked about like what it's like to go to the park as a 6-year-old. And I think we get our video soon this week. I'm adorable. So I took her out for a little daddy-daughter date to the East Side German restaurant, one we have gone to before, because her favorite thing is German sausages. She was so happy. And I had my chalice of delicious Pilsner from Weinstahofner. You know what I'm saying. The oldest brewery in the world. Weinstahofner. There we go. And I was looking at the menu before I left, and it's the picture I just sent you guys, because she was asking me, like, why does that guy have a boot? And I was like, explaining what the boots are and stuff. And my daughter in the German restaurant will stand up on the chair and yell ziggy zaggy oi 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 as they come in and bring those guys. It's awesome. It's nice. It's hysterical. But the picture I sent you guys shows how their beer is served in half-liter mugs, full-liter mugs, or purchase your own 1-liter boot, 2-liter boot. Or, gentlemen, take a look at that photo.
Oh, God. Is that a 5-liter gauntlet?
5-liter gauntlet. I'd never heard of that.
I've never had either.
Like, my God. That's like one of those mini kegs you buy.
Right.
Is it bigger than one of those? Like a 5-liter gauntlet.
Wow.
The problem is, you're in this German restaurant, the glass is all above your head. The place is done proper and right. And I saw that on there, and I haven't seen anyone have one yet. But at some point, it makes me want to go and try it. like,
yeah, the standard mini keg is 5 liters.
So
we need to get
14 pints.
Oh my God.
we need to get Fabian's Fanatics, the entire text group that we have. All of us need to go and attempt to that.
14 pints.
That would be amazing. Oh my God. I just can't, like.
And those are full pints too, eh?
Well, proper pints.
Proper pints, yeah.
Yeah, proper pints. I mean, is 5-liter gauntlet a thing?
Well, apparently.
Allegedly.
It's on signage.
Wow, I saw that and was like, oh my God.
You get to keep the glass?
Yes, it does say purchase your own 1-liter boot, 2-liter boot. And 2-liter boots are already like, dang.
I see, but here's the problem. Here's the big problem. We do it. I'd be the chap that gets stuck drinking the last liter that's warm as because it sat there. The same way I did in Chicago a few years ago when me, Ron, and Scott were out. I'm sucking down this sugary skull head full of red liquid. Both of them are like, we're full. We're not giving up. I'm trying to suck this thing down. I was like, that's exactly what's going to happen.
You got to love it.
I mean, I'm trying to figure out if it's for real or not. I mean, it's real there, but like, is that a thing that you would experience in Germany? Because I want to know. Anyway, that's my extremely local beer news, and from New Britain, Connecticut.
Authentic German beer steins from a company in Germany called German Clocks and Gifts.
Of course.
They have beer steins in the 5-liter variety for $169 US.
Send that website in the chat thread right now, please. I need to check that out.
Get that Amex card out right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Good grief.
Alrighty. We should get back to it though.
All right. Now it's time for the La Liga's American Roundup. Yeehaw! We should change it when it's the American one. You gotta have a yeehaw at the end of that one.
That's fair.
Yeah. Ferris, you want to take us to the Olympics? To Paris?
Sure. How does the theme song go?
I
forget now.
I can't do it. Yeah, it's the John Williams one because he wrote everything that's cool.
No,
Donna.
no, that's not it.
That's Jaws.
Must go faster.
Must go faster.
No.
In a marathon. Well, not in a marathon.
Anyways, the Olympics are upon us. Opening ceremonies this Friday, the 26th. But our U.S. men's national team, I don't say abbreviate, that's not the right word. A different U.S. men's national team kicks off tomorrow, Wednesday, the 24th at 3 p.m. Eastern against France. Should be a hell of a match. We said it on the last pod. It's coached by Marko Mitrovic, and it is the men have rules in the Olympics. They can only take a certain number of players. All have to be under 23, with the exception of 3 players. We went over that list last time. So just some players to look out for specifically in this that maybe we haven't seen a whole lot of in previous camps and those sort of things. Keep an eye out for a Tanner Tessman, who plays his ball over in Italy, in Valencia, in midfield. He will probably get the start tomorrow in France. He'll probably start all of the games. Keep an eye on Paxton Harrison. He plays over in Germany at FC Utrecht. Or I'm sorry, in not Germany, in the Netherlands, in the Dutch. Keep an eye on the defensive side of things for Caleb Wiley, who plays at Atlanta FC, that some of you may have seen. All of those are some very, in each position are some very, very interesting players to look forward to. We'll see how they do. Now, they come up against a France team, which is much, much different than what you may think. And we'll see how they do. If you give me a second here, I'll be able to tell you the Olympic team for France. It's not the France that you've seen with Conte and Griezmann. It is a much abbreviated team, but you do have some players which you have heard before. Michael Elise captains the squad. Crystal Palace player, young player, just moved to Bayern Munich, who's their new midfielder. Forward Alexander Lacazette is also in the final 18-man squad. If I'm not mistaken, Alexander Lacazette is one of those older than 23 players. But you also have, the two other players of the 3 that are over age are John Philip Mateta, plays also at Crystal Palace, and Luca Balde, 24 years old. Are your 3 over age players. But other than that, you have just a very young France squad. So it should be a good matchup. Obviously, France has decided to put a lot of those over age players in their forward line, with essentially all, Lacazette and Mateta being forwards. We'll see how they do. We'll see if they can even get out of the group, because it's not going to be overly easy for them to do so. Their tournament starts tomorrow, and I had their tournament up here, but they play the Dutch next. They play somebody else. Again, not the teams that you know of. They are abbreviate. I don't know how to say it. They're just different squads and under.
They're just all the under 23s.
Yeah.
So they're upcoming players who are still, maybe they aren't all on top rated teams. Some of them are, but not all of them are. So it'll be a lot of upcoming players and a lot of seasoned players. So a very level playing field without.
Yep. Yeah. I'm sorry, it's not the Dutch they play next. They play New Zealand next, and that'll be on the 27th. And then they play Guinea on the 30th, and that is the group. So we'll see what they could do. In the past, the U.S. men's national team hasn't always been great. They haven't won, I think, since it's been a while. I don't actually know when. It has been a while. They haven't always.
The normal U.S. men's national team hasn't done well of late. So,
well, at least it's not Greg Berhalter's fault. And moving on, the U.S. women kick off with Emma Hayes' first tournament. We went over their roster. They kick off the next day on Thursday, the 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Both of these games can be found on the USSA Network, Peacock, and a host of the NBCU channels. Their first match is against Zambia. Zambia, a very formidable team. They have no holds bar here. It's anybody can go, any age. It is a full tournament for the women. Some players on the U.S. side to kind of take note of. There was a change. Kat Macario out due to injury. In comes forward Lynn Williams as alternate. Lynn Williams, a lot more experience than Kat Macario has had in these type of tournaments. It should be interesting. Obviously, you know your Sophia Smiths, your Mal Swansons, your Lindsay Horan, your Rose Lavelles. Keep an eye out for Jaden Shaw. See what she can do off the bench. See what she can do coming in, probably in the second half of games. But the how dynamic she is as a young player, what she can do. Also keep an eye on Sam Coffey, her first kind of big away from home type tournament. She is going to probably be a stalwart in the midfield and a long standing and automatic start from here on out as a true holding midfielder. Mainly holding, very defensive in nature, great passing, box to box, if anything, but she's going to probably get every start. So she's somebody to watch out for. Plays her ball over with the Portland Thorns, and then on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to be interesting. But watch out for Jenna Nice longer. Really came on the scene last season with Gotham. Watch how she gets up the pitch, how she gets back on defense. Watch how she kind of opens the game up sometimes with the ball at her feet. She'll be one to watch on that back line that, again, like Sam Coffey, should get every start there at a left back position.
I think you should also keep in mind that players like Trinity Rodman and Sophia Smith are going to have a little bit to prove after the World Cup exit. So they're going to be hungry and looking to score some goals.
Absolutely. And that'll probably be two of your starting three, Trinity Rodman, Sophia Smith, and the third will be Mallory Swanson, who's looked very, very good since she's been back from injury in this team by Emma Hayes. And she is a player, man. She's a fun one to watch. We still have two alternates, or we have a few alternates. We have Jane Campbell, Hal Hertzfeld, and then our very own Emily Sams.
Nice.
Is over there on the defensive side of things. Very young defender out of FSU, year 2 here with the Pride. She is over there in France as an alternate should the time call for it, or be needed, I should add. But again, they kick off this Friday against Zambia.
And look out on the Zambian side. Look out for Barbara Banda, who is tearing up the NWSL. She plays here in Orlando for the Orlando Pride, and she is crushing.
Great season.
Yep. And this is a tough group that they are in. So they play Zambia. Very good. A lot of Zambian players made their way over to NWSL this year. Barbara Banda, as you said, has been so much fun to watch here in Orlando. That game's in Nice. Then they play Germany, powerhouse in women's soccer. They play the 28th, so that's Sunday at 3 p.m. in Marseille. And then again in Marseille, they play Australia. We know how Australia is. That is not a easy group to be in whatsoever.
Definitely not.
So keep an eye out. 3 games quick. Both the men and women playing before the opening ceremonies on Friday. But then there's only 3 days turnaround for each. So the Olympics, USA Channel, NBC, Peacock, any of the NBC channels, keep an eye out for it. It's a fun time of year every 4 years when the Olympics come around.
Gotta love it.
And that has been your La Liga's Roundup.
There we go, gentlemen. Well, I think this brings us to the end of Ye Old Pod. Our beers for the pod today where I had the Trillium Brewmasters collaboration that was done in conjunction with Hold for Show. Prof Brewery. There we go. From Belgium, an awesome Saison. Delicious.
From the base of the Colomita volcano, I had the Colomita Lager. Quite a tasty tropical take on a German classic.
From Mexico, Cerveza Pacifico. No, I am having that currently, but I also had Santo Tequila Reposado by Guy Fieri, Sammy Haggard. Thanks for the signature, Guy.
Dude, definitely
driving and dives. Love it.
Definitely one of the better things you brought onto the pod. I mean, if you had brought it in itself as a collab with Guy Fieri and Hagar, but the fact it was signed, that's pretty good.
Oh, come on. A little green bottle and Little Kings is still one of the best things I've ever brought on this pod.
Fair enough. I forgot. What was that again? It was like
a shooter beer or something.
Yeah, that King's lager you
Little
shoot.
Kings, which is not even. When I drove up to see Ron get married there in Canada, I stopped in Old Zanesville, Ohio, and went to the wine rack. They don't sell it anymore. COVID hurt them.
They told Ferris, they said, that ain't been sold for 50 years. What do we drink? With your Conn's potato chips, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Let's go. Now you're talking.
All right. Well, get us this Latan quote up here.
I don't know if I said this on the pod before, but he's recently retired. He's probably with Klopp enjoying some Mai Tais on the beach. But Zlatan is quoted as saying, "I have won more than 30 titles. I have scored more than 500 goals. I don't miss football. Football misses me."
I mean,
legend.
I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with that fact. I mean, he's probably exactly right. Well, folks, thanks for listening. Follow along on our socials from the Untapped to the X's. I guess we've just officially given up on Twitter and Facebook and all that jazz. And then if you could leave us a rating and review, tell all your friends about us, especially great aunts and great grandmas. We're trying to pick that. That's the demographic we're after right now.
And if you're listening, holy the world's largest stein. Did you see that 8-gallon stein that Ron sent in the chat? I just saw that. Holy.
Yeah. Like,
wow.
That is insane. An 8-gallon stein.
How do you even carry it? That's 56 pounds of beer.
It's obnoxious.
30. Okay. It stands 4 feet high, stoneware, weighs 35 pounds empty, and holds 8.45 gallons of beer.
God almighty.
The scene is a Flemish countryside wedding.
Of course.
Somewhere lit. German of the German beer king. Literal translation of the German verse is, "He who can empty this stein is truly a man."
Gentlemen, if you filled that thing to the top and tried to drink it, it weighs 91 pounds.
I would like to say, "He who can empty this stein is truly a dead man."
That's
what
right.
That thing should say.
With severe liver damage.
I mean, the 5 liter was already like, that just seems not even like, look what I did. That just sounds like, what's that movie with Dan Aykroyd and oh God, what's his nuts? From Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy with The Great Outdoors.
Right.
Where he had to eat the steak.
Oh,
to get the free meal, the giant steak, you got to finish the gristle. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Like you would just be like, oh, Joey Chestnut style at the end of things, trying to slurp down that last hot liter, like Fair said. It's
hot
room
backwash
temperature.
liter.
100%. That'd be me. 100%.
Yeah. And if you got this stein with 8.5 gallons, that's like
you couldn't even carry it. You'd have to suck it out with a straw.
Ron, a king doesn't need to carry it. He just sits there and asks you to lift that up.
Can I just say, I love that we were right on target to end the pod, like on time. And an 8-liter, 4-foot tall stein
Destroyed it.
Derailed us.
Derailed us completely. Well, then let's finish this thing off. Since we're going to do the Olympics, gentlemen, we should start brushing up on all the things like you don't know about when it comes to the Olympics. So what's odd? What are odd Olympic games? We know we're getting break dancing this go around, right?
Yep.
What
Somebody
about
from Kissimmee, Florida, is going to that, by the way, too.
Oh, that's right. You guys know about water ballet?
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
not?
So what do you call bad water ballet? Olympic term. Synchronized swimming. Synchronized swimming. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be here all night. Try the VO and your 8-liter ridiculously huge
Has anybody
size.
ever actually tried the veal after somebody said that? Oh, waiter, he said try the veal. May I please have your finest veal with peas and carrots?
Taste the cruelty. All right. On that note, love the beer, cherish the game, the brutal game. USA, USA.
USA.